Hello, Missouri HOSA. My name is Rebecca Bolin, and I'm the State Officer Advisor. Today, I wanted to be able to walk you guys step by step through registering your chapter for an upcoming conference. But before we can register for a conference, we need to make sure we have the affiliation done. Mrs. Waymeyer has sent that video out to you guys a few times, but if you're having trouble locating it, I want to just show you real quick where she has placed it on the HOSA website. If you go to MissouriHOSA.org, this is all things up to date and current about Missouri HOSA. There is a student zone or advisor zone, so make sure you send your students here if they're asking you questions that you're unsure about. But we're going to go here in the middle to join and just down to affiliation packet. The video on a step-by-step for affiliation is right here at the bottom. It also some good reminders of the $15 that cost our students to be affiliated, and the address you need to send that payment to. It does go to our headquarters in Texas, not to the Jefferson City address. Now, we're going to register for a conference. So to do that, we're going to go to HOSA.org, the national site, and we're going to go here in the middle to log in. Each chapter is given its own unique username and password to use to get into this system to ensure that your information is the only one that you see and have access to. If you're a new advisor to us, you can contact the national office, or Mrs. Waymeyer will probably be able to help you get into the system if you're unsure. Now, I've went ahead and already registered about 4 students and 1 advisor for my test chapter. So again, check out the video. Make sure this membership part is completed before you register. For this conference, we're going to go down here to the middle where it says conferences. This is where you're going to find any conference that is available for you to register for. I've decided to walk you guys through a state conference. It's the one that needs the most information, and there's a lot of important steps that you need to complete as an advisor so your students have the best experience at our state conference. So all I'm going to do is click on the Missouri State Leadership Conference. You can see currently I don't have anyone registered, but we're going to take care of that now. So under registration, when you hit this plus sign, that is where all the people you have affiliated is going to be available for you to register. I'm going to start with the advisor. They're the easiest one, only a couple questions, and it's the one I always seem to forget. So you can see the 4 registration types. It's really important you choose the select the correct one. So Mrs. Waymeyer is our advisor. They're all the same price, but the middle section here for advisors is also very important. We know you don't want to give out your student information, but any information you can provide for us to make this filled in as much as possible is really the best. I am going to go ahead and put in a phone number for Mrs. Waymeyer, because that is also very important that she is able to get hold of you at a conference, and this is where she's going to get that information. So fill in as much of this for you and any other advisor that you are willing to give out to us, but 100% a phone number. So under options and activities, this is where you're going to select the t-shirt size for your advisor. We love the t-shirt design and that it's done by one of our delegation members. So everyone gets the free t-shirt at state. And also for an advisor, the only other thing you need to worry about is if you have a diet restriction. So in diet restriction, we've listed the most common ones that we see for you to be able to select from. If, however, you have a diet restriction that's not on the list, please email that information to Mrs. Waymeyer prior to the conference, and she'll make sure that you guys have food that's appropriate. So for an advisor, easy as that. All the information, what t-shirt size, and if you have a gluten allergy. So you can see now that she is saved. So now I'm going to register my students. So it's important that you have the competition they're doing, if they're doing a team event, who is in that team, and some other questions that we're going to go through here. So I'm just going to choose my first student. I'm going to register these guys both for a team event and individual so you guys can see that process. So I have a secondary chapter, so I'm going to choose that. If you had middle school or post-secondary, that's where you would select it. I have my student information in. I'm going to go to activities first. My student is a medium shirt size. And every chapter does get voting delegates. It's very important that every chapter, when you register, you select 3 students to represent your chapter as a voting delegate. You get 2. And then you want to have an alternate just in case there's a conflict with a competition or something. So you still have 2 people available to vote for our state officer team from your chapter. So this student I'm going to do as a voting delegate. There's a drop down here, and I gave her her t-shirt size. Now for her competition, I'm going to register her for an individual event. Let's do job seeking skills. That's a good one that my students enjoy. Okay, and my student is also going to do the Barbara James service hours. So this is also where you select if they are doing a recognition event. So you can see I have her shirt size. She's a voting delegate. She does Barbara James Service Award, and she's competing in the job seeking skills. And all I do is hit save. All right, now on to my next student. Now I'm going to do a team event. So I'm going to select my second student here. They are post-secondary. Other activities, I'm going to choose their t-shirt size. This one will also have a dietary restriction. I am going to make them courtesy corps. We cannot do state without courtesy corps. Those are volunteers. Your students can come and help us in competition. Mrs. Waymeyer is really great about making sure that she puts them in courtesy corps options that work around their competitions and other things that they're doing. So please register your members for courtesy corps. So this one I'm going to do MRC because I know that's a team event. And since this is the first person I'm registering for that event, I don't need to do anything with the team members. That will come in just a moment. So I do have a competitive event. This student also, let's say, is going to do Barbara James. So we'll put that in because we love our Barbara James service hours. And hit save. Okay. Now on to our next student. I'm also going to register them for the same event because you have to be able to link these teams together. So let me show you that. So student number 3 is a post-secondary student. They are also a voting delegate, because remember I need 3. So this is my second voting delegate. They are also a medium t-shirt. They are also doing the MRC partnership. Now, because I've already registered one student for this event, when I get here, I need to tie these teams together. So when I type in my student that I've already registered's last name or first name, it is only going to pull up the students in my registration that have this competition for an event. So you don't have to try and remember who you're registering. So I'm going to select this, and now these 2 people are linked on a team. So when we do the event, we make their competition IDs. They all have the same one. This is the most important step when you have a team event. And I'm going to show it to you again just so you really get it. And you can see their team number is already coming up. And you will see that everyone I'm registering has the same team number. That's why it's so important for us. So I'm going to go ahead and do my last student just so you can see it another time and really see what it looks like with a multi-team competition. So again, I have to choose my t-shirt size. I've done 2 voting delegates. I still need to do my alternate voting delegate. The other thing I didn't talk about, and I apologize, and is a state officer candidate. Hopefully you guys are talking to your students about running for state office, and you need to make sure that you select here under the options of activities if they are a state officer delegate. Obviously they can't be a voting delegate also, but make sure you select that. And again, as many people as you can as courtesy corps. Our state conference runs so much better when we have people there. It's fun. The students love it, and Mrs. Waymer does, again, a good job of working around their schedule. So I have my MRC partnership. This is now the 3rd team member I am adding to this event. So when I type in student, which is what I have as their last name, you can see it brings up the whole team. So when I select it, it automatically fills in everyone I have linked to this competition. I am also... this chapter is also doing the HOSA service project. So you only register 1 student for HOSA service project for your whole chapter. And this student also is representing us for HOSA. Happenings. I accidentally selected middle school, so let me delete that because I have a post-secondary student. But HOSA Happenings is here as well. Okay, so one student for HOSA Service Project, one student for HOSA Happenings. As many students as you have doing Barbara James, you register under their competitive events. Don't forget your 3 voting delegates per chapter, 2 and an alternate. If there's state officer candidate, dietary restrictions, t-shirt sizes, it's much easier if you just do a form, have your students fill all this information out for you, so when you register, you have it all in front of you. So I'm done registering my chapter. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to verify that all the information is correct. So now I have 5 attendees. I have 12 total activities, 8 events. You can ignore that dollar amount because that is not accurate since this is a test chapter. But you can see very clearly I have student number 4 and, all the things that I registered them for HOSA Happenings Service Project. Their MRC team has been linked together. So when we go to set up these competitions, we know which team members need matching IDs. Please do not forget that step. Courtesy Corps member, they're a voting delegate, and you can see everyone that you have registered for these events. So at this point, you don't have to save. If you have family members that are coming as attendees to oversee your students, you can register them as well. So here you can go to reports and generate your invoice for this right now, print it off and get it to accounting so you can get it paid. Do not forget HOSA, you can mail them in a check with this invoice. You can also pay by credit card, but there is a small fee to use, their credit card over the phone. I hope this is helpful. I hope you guys found this information easy. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I will help you the best that I can. Mrs. Waymeyer will also be available for you, but just watch the video. Hopefully it makes sense. If you need me, email me and I'll be happy to help you guys out. I can't wait to see you guys at the next state conference. And again, HOSA is an amazing opportunity for your students. So thank you for everything you do and have a great day.